Welcome to welcome to episode 65, the Proper Gentlemen's Club. I'm going to be doing these videos more often than not. Let's put it that way. So, over the past week, I think if you were here for last week's episode 64, we were talking about like mediocrity and being above average. And that's just been a theme for this year. It seems like everybody's kind of on this right now. So I've spent some more time digging into myself, as I usually do, to come up with like the reasons why. Uh, it's not really the reason why it's so easy to be mediocre, but if I know and believe that there's potential and talent within myself, then why is it so hard for me to use 100% of my talent and my gifts? Like, why do I think that I have so much time to perfect whatever I'm perfecting? Like, why do I think that? And so, like you guys know, I have a system that I use to kind of come up with some of these answers. I'm going to kind of paraphrase the question that I asked. I've run into another snag. Not only is the general spiritual feeling of human consciousness as a whole the desire to be free in 2026, but I'm also going through the 12-week course, The Artist's Way, and doing my morning pages. And so these morning pages are meant to kind of, it's like, you know how you wash your face, and forgive me for not having drapes. Those are going up soon. You know how when you wash your face, you clean your face after a night of whatever. It's kind of like a face wash for your brain. Okay. So you write these 3 pages, and by the second day, the third day, I was wondering why I just couldn't write like what I wanted to write, like all the things. And it started bothering me that I just could not be free enough. And part of my thing now that I know with this mediocrity thing is that I have to be, it's not tenacity, but the effort that you put into the things that you do, like the effort that you put into each moment without hesitation, without hope, but a knowing that it's possible. It's happening. It is. It already is. So I'm really trying to figure out, there's a block, an unwillingness to completely let go. And that's what I've been fighting. So there's a few things that happened here, and we're going to go through those things. This is about 5 or 6 notes here. It's not that I want to be out of balance. So I say that because I'm a Libra. We constantly balancing the scales, and I'm constantly trying to keep the scales balanced. And so we're going to get into that here. So 1, I don't want to be out of balance. I want to be undivided in how I allot my attention and where my attention goes. I want to be undivided. I want to give my undivided attention to one sole thing, not have my attention spread out all over the place. So there's a critical distinction between being out of balance and being undivided. Because I said out of balance, not realizing what I wanted to say, but really I was trying to say I just want to be like completely and totally into some thing, not spread out. So out of balance is chaotic, dysregulated, compulsive, and self-destructive. Undivided is all in, committed, decisive, embodied, and coherent. So what I'm rebelling against, and I assume that some of you are going through this as well. What I'm rebelling against is not balance. It's fragmentation disguised as balance. Fragmentation disguised as balance. Because I've spent years, and I'm sure a lot of you have spent these same years doing this. I've spent years moderating myself, managing myself, watching myself, explaining myself, and regulating myself to stay good, safe, or reasonable. But the thing is that those things create mediocrity, not harmony, and definitely not coherence. And at the start of season 2, we got into coherence. So if you haven't, go check those episodes out, because those will help you out with where we're at right now. So that creates mediocrity, not harmony, and is not coherence, which is why that reality that you're trying to get to, you can't shift into it because you're not coherent with the core of that reality. Our systems are screaming because our creative, especially me, so this is for me, my creative and masculine circuits are being throttled by over control, not by discipline, not by lack of discipline. My circuits are being throttled by over control, not a lack of discipline. It's not the discipline. I'm not being disciplined. I'm over controlling everything. 2, the core block is not doubt. It's withheld permission. The core block is not doubt. It's withheld permission. And I wrote this line: the real me, the me who wants to dominate, is never released. This is not about sex. This is not about women. This is not about art. This is not about winning. This is about permission to fully occupy your own power without apology. How scary is that? To fully occupy your own power without apologizing. And this is where people get this wrong. They think being fully myself is like being some a-hole, right? Or like telling people off. This has nothing to do with any of that. This has to do with you showing up fully in who you are, right? And who you are is not work. Who you are is not the relationship that you're in. Who you are is not the dreams that you aspire to. That's not who you are. Who you are is something else. That's not for this episode. I think I probably cover it. I'm not sure if I have the title right, but you can look. I'm sure there's something there. Somewhere early in life, we learned, I know I learned, if I go all in, I could be rejected. If I fully claim my intensity, I could be abandoned. That's been a thing. If I dominate, create, or succeed too strongly, I'll be punished or left. So I learned to hold back, hedge, keep one foot out, and stay balanced so I can retreat. And that strategy once protected me. Now it's suffocating me. So why this is blocking my creativity, money-making skills, scaling everything that I'm doing, my relationships. Creation requires irrevocable commitment. Creation requires irrevocable commitment. Writing a great novel requires surrender to obsession. Making real money requires decisive identity ownership. Sexual polarity in your relationships requires presence without self-monitoring. How many of you self-monitor when you're having intimate relationships with your partner? Leadership requires the willingness to be seen in your full force. Again, this is not about being an a-hole. If that's where your mind goes, that's still at your core, is being a jerk. Every time I stay half in, every time you stay half in, we broadcast, I'm not safe to trust myself with my own power. We broadcast that out from our field. I'm not safe to trust myself with my own power. And the field mirrors that. Everything outside, everything that comes from within is mirrored outside. And it's not because I'm unworthy. It's because nothing scales from hesitation. And over the last 2 weeks, we talked about the racing and how the hesitation, the hoping, the trying to get the lap, when it's already there, it's already been done, is what keeps me from putting in the good lap. A quick quote about The Artist's Way. So, number 4, hitting resistance in the morning pages. So, The Artist's Way is not meant to make me calm or balanced. It's meant to strip the governor off the engine. They don't soothe, they expose. And that's what it's been doing. And that's where these questions came up. They bring up rage, grief, envy, sexual energy, ambition, contempt for mediocrity, grief for lost potential. If you try to stay nice or even while doing them, nice or even, balanced, you'll feel exactly what you're feeling now, which is existential pressure with nowhere to go. The pressure is a creative libido with no outlet. And imagine like it's like a pressure cooker where the lid isn't on tight. You can just hear it. Five. Had to go a little pause there because I'm looking at this next piece, especially for the guys here, but women too, probably. The sexual piece about this, about not being fully in yourself, right? Guys, women can sense everything that we're doing, everything that we're feeling in that moment. They can feel everything, they can sense everything. So if you're self monitoring, she can sense that you haven't fully let loose yet. And I had a talk with a girl from Roseburg that I was talking about. I had a talk with her. And it's like, to be honest, it's probably all cheating. The reason why cheating sucks so bad, I think a deeper part of us knows that our partner was out getting what we weren't giving them. And that's what hurts. Regardless of the reason, if you think about that, there was somewhere where we were holding back. Didn't even have to be sexually. Could have just been in showing love, appreciation, gratitude, thanks, helping, whatever. We were holding back in some way. And they went and got that from another person. That's what opens the door. I'm not condoning it. We can sense each other, right? So dominance for guys in these relationships, right, is not an act. And believe me, no matter what they say, they want to be dominated in some fashion. If they say they don't, they're lying to you. And dominance is not an act. Dominance is certainty and embodiment, embodying who you are. This is why for guys, when the lady steps out, it's horrifying. Because your lady just got dominated by another guy. That's what makes you want to go out and fight that guy. Sex, money, art, and leadership all respond to the same signal. I am here. I am choosing this. There is no retreat. There's nothing else. There's just this moment. So when we second guess, evaluate, or hold back, our body tightens, our breath shortens, our presence collapses, and desire drains. Just going to let you sit there with that for a second. You can rewind it if you need to. And it's not because we're doing something wrong. It's because my system is trained to abort before liftoff. Number 6, the pain I'm feeling is grief for the man I haven't fully let become real. So I said this, and this is the line that it asked me to sit with. I deserve the things my artistic child dreamed of. Yes. And the reason that that hurts is because I can feel how close those things are. So again, this is about the pain that we're feeling is grief for the man or woman you haven't fully let become real. My nervous system knows that the intelligence is there, the discipline is there, the depth is there, the drive is there. What's missing is not effort. It's permission to burn the boats to get back to safety. No, we're here, right? 7, I asked it, I just wish there was a button or something that I could push to turn off all this doubt, to turn off all this fluff and just go get it. Right? Like if I know it's there, why can't I just go get it? Right? It's not going to magically appear or happen sometime in the future. That's not how this works. There is no switch that removes doubt. There is no button. That's number 7. There is no button, but there is a decision. There is no switch that removes doubt. Doubt disappears after commitment, not before. Every man who has ever created something meaningful crossed this line, whether it was writers, founders, leaders, warriors, or artists. They did not become certain and then commit. They did not become certain, then commit. They committed, and certainty reorganized around the decision. This is that faith that we talked about. You commit, you jump, you leap, you go from the cliff. And it's crazy. But that's why fortune favors the bold. You cannot live in fear. You must attack that fear while it's screaming at you, while the doubt is screaming at you, right? Number 8. What we need to do practically. 1, stop trying to be balanced. Balance is for maintenance phases. And I am in a creation phase. Creation is asymmetrical. It is intense. It is obsessive. It is inconvenient. That is not pathology. That's biology. 2, choose one area to go all in on. Not everything and not a few things. 1. I have mine. I'm not going to say it here, but I have mine. Everything else is support structures, right? 3, set a non-negotiable identity rule. Not a goal, a rule. Example, I write every day, whether I feel confident or not. That's who I am now. No analysis, no checking, no performance review. Just write daily. Not a goal, a rule. A rule. Like by rule, going to the gym is not a goal for me. It's a rule. Something I don't miss. And let the intensity move through the body, right? So for me, like lift heavy, write hard, breathe deep, and stop self-monitoring during creation phases. Evaluation comes later. So let's go into 9. And there was 10 here, but the other one is very personal and doesn't need to be shared here. It's basically about my vision and my coherent identity for that, the scaling. Anyway, move on to 9. Let's call this 9. The reframe that matters the most, the mental reframe that matters the most. So we're not afraid. I am not afraid of failing. I'm afraid of succeeding without a safety net. There's nothing to go back to after you hit that. You hit that jet stream and you've taken off. You can't go back. And that's the final gate, right? Succeeding without a safety net. That's the last thing. That's what entrepreneurs have to do. That's why I've always been scared to be an entrepreneur. When you're forced, when you take that leap, right? So we don't need to destroy doubt. We need to act while it screams. And that's not recklessness. That's adulthood. Nothing is wrong with us. Nothing is wrong with me. We're standing at the edge of our own authority. And that terrifies the part of me that learned to survive while holding back. And I've just decided that that part doesn't get the drive anymore. And I know that. Feel free to listen to that again. I don't think I have much to go on with that. I mean, if in conclusion, my final thoughts on what I just gave to you, this is the year to be obsessed with something. Whatever thing that you have in your heart to do, become obsessed with it. That is your purpose. Your purpose is what you were called here to do. And you know what you were called here to do. You've just been avoiding it. I was reading The Artist's Way, the first section. I've actually got some work to do in there. I was reading it, and she says fiction writers often find themselves in like advertising, like marketing, so that they can use their gift without doing the scary thing of writing the novel. And that kind of hit me because I literally went to school for communications and media studies with a double major in advertising, public relations, and radio television. To avoid. But like when I was a kid, I always wanted to write like a book. When I was a kid, I remember I was 7. That's a whole story for another time. We are finished with episode 65. Become obsessed. Become obsessed. Become obsessed. That's the only thing that's going to give you the joy that you're seeking. Because that's from within. That's from within. That being said, we'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning into the Proper Gentleman's Club. Send this out to friends. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.